Hey guys, Talking Coins and Bullion here. Going to be showing you some Roman coins that I bought recently. It was a lot of 10 coins, but as you can see from my bad handwriting on this little presentation mat, there are 9 coins, not 10. I'm not sure what happened to the other one. I'm not even sure if it was in the packet when they all got delivered, but it's a little bit late because these have actually been in soak for the last 3 weeks. So they've been in deionized water. I couldn't easily get distilled, so they've been in this, with the water being changed every other day or every third day for the last 3 weeks. There wasn't a serious amount of build up on any of the coins when they arrived. Some of the build up is quite heavy in terms of how hard it is rather than how much there is. None of them have really got any massive build up. Some of the coins do have quite good details. These coins were bought on eBay from a seller called Colin Colliton or Colleton. It was $13.99. Postage and packaging I think was £2. So it was $13.99 for 10 of them, or 9 that actually turned up. They seem pretty good so far. It says unchecked, which I can believe because some of them are quite detailed. This one actually doesn't have a huge amount left to take off it. I've got some Renaissance wax, which I just bought on Amazon, and the water came from B&Q. If you do want distilled water, it's very easy to get online. I just haven't bought any yet, but you can get 5 litres for something really cheap from, chemical wholesalers, people like that. Okay, so the plan is to clean these coins up, at least start with one today. Just give you a little rundown of what I normally do when I'm working through them. What I'd like to do in future videos will be to buy a big lot on eBay, maybe 50, 100 coins, and show you the process from the point I open them to the point I'm actually waxing them. So open the lot of 50, clean off any big debris, put them in soak, show you each time I change the water because it gets less and less dirty as you're changing it, and then show you the process. Put them in something a bit more professional than this, and then show you what 100 or 50 dirty coins look like at the very beginning, then the soaking stage, then the cleaning stage, then the finer cleaning, show you what some of the different tools are, and then show you what the end results are, and out of 50 or 100, how many are real keepers and are really in very good condition, and how many are kind of more like metal discs, like this one. I have almost no hope for this sort of thing, where it really just looks like there's not a lot going on there in terms of detail. It's still worth having. I wouldn't throw them away, as I get more well versed with cleaning them, it will look more professional. But I think if you get one and it's basically just a metal disc, I don't think there's going to be a lot more detail. Okay, so we're going to start doing the fun stuff. You can hear I'm in my squeaky chair, same as last time. They all seem to end up that sort of way. So what we're going to do is basically trying to think of the coin that's going to have, this one here, you can see there's not a huge amount of build up there, and there's some decent detail. So I think that's going to be more of a fine kind of job. Same with this one. If anything, it looks like a kind of a fine layer of dust. You can really see some good detail there. Sometimes you get this really heavy kind of build-up, which is almost more like cement. That's kind of what it is. It's been in the ground for a long time. I'm thinking we're going to start with number 8. We'll start with number 8. I'll keep these in the numbered position so that when we refer back to these, because this is kind of a little work in progress and like a beta test for the bigger video. So instead of recording with 50 or 100 coins now, we're going to start off small. So we'll start off with this set of 9, kind of work them through. I'll work on these 9 in different videos, and then when they get completed, and it's done all the way to completion, we'll then do another set of videos where basically we get more coins. I'll show you more of the process and really showing you the whole thing from start to finish, so you can actually kind of join in, show you where I get things from, tell you what I normally do, and then just take it from there. Okay, so these have been in soak for quite a while. I have got a zoom lens up here, but for now we'll just do it like this. Okay, so this video is going to be for number 8. So I'm going to get the bowl, put a bit of water in here, and I'm going to give it a bit of a clean off with a toothbrush. So maybe before we start I should show you basically what you're going to need. If you're going to do it the way I do it, coins, which you'd have got from a website that specialises in that sort of thing, or eBay. You're going to need distilled water or deionized. Lots of debate about this. Deionized is basically being through a process of removing impurities, whereas distilled has been through a distillation process where there'll basically be nothing in there apart from water. Both are very clean. If you can only get deionized, that will do just fine. A toothbrush to take up any big debris, and then a pick. I've got a selection of picks which I bought on Amazon. I am going to be buying more professional kits, but to start with, this is fine as long as you don't go too hard on it, because you can always go over it again. But if you go too hard over it and you spoil the patina or scrape too much detail off, then when you're not just scraping off the mud, then you'll have to basically lose the opportunity to work on that coin. So I'm not going to go into massive depth today in terms of the process. It's going to be more follow along and just see what it looks like. But these have been in soak for 3 weeks. They've had the water changed every other day or every third day. So they've been in soak for a long time. I did clean off the debris to begin with, just gave them a light brush off before I put them in soak. And they've already come up quite well. But we're going to brush this one off, get it as good as we can in this video, and then see what it looks like after. So with the brushing, it's going to be really light, and we've also got lots of kitchen roll because you can't have too much kitchen roll when you're doing this. So we're going to be doing different videos covering the different tools that you can get. We'll be comparing some of those. You know, people use picks. There are some kind of graphite specialist tipped pens almost that people use, which seem to be the only thing some people actually use. They don't use picks at all, they just use that. So they look interesting, but I do quite like the pick process. It just makes sense. So just going to brush this off here just to get an idea of whether it's looking different or not. The other thing that would be quite good would be when we do a bigger video and we've got 40 or 50 coins, yeah, depending on what kind of batch we can get for a decent price per coin, show you the whole setup of everything and then see a full before and after for each coin and really do a deep dive on it. But for this one, just to get going, do kind of a beginner's video, but then make it more in depth as we go along. You can see it's dyeing the gloves, so it looks like it's working. I'm going to be brushing this for a little bit longer, making the camera shake a bit more, and then we're going to be going into using the pick. In terms of what's right and what's wrong, as long as you're not brushing too hard and you're generally being careful with it, then what you're doing is probably right. And when I use the pick, I like to go in small circles so that I am less likely to press too hard in one space, and doing big lines. If you go in circles, that can help. It's like being at the dentist. So I'm gonna bring this down, and when it's further down it'll be a bit easier, hopefully for you to see and for me to see it as well. You can kind of look freehand and not look through a magnifier, but the coins aren't that big, so it's going to be a bit difficult to get any sort of decent depth. Okay. Just bring this back a bit here. Okay, we've got the magnifier there, so hopefully that should come out okay for you. You can hear that squeaking sound. That's kind of the sign that it's the patina that we're hitting, but the only thing with that is, if this build-up isn't mud, it does make you wonder what it is. It can get very compact and be almost like a concrete type substance. And the way you can see if this is actually going to come off is get it wet, work it in there a bit. If it changes colour, then that should mean that it's something that you should be able to take off. And if it can dye the kitchen roll, I mean that's not coming off at all, so it's not coming off at all by the looks of it. So I'm wondering if that's kind of embedded in the coin and it's not something you can actually get out. Then if you can hear that scraping sound, that isn't really a great sign. I'm thinking with coin number 8 we're going to have to leave that. That's what I was saying about with the kind of specialised tipped graphite pens. It's kind of a good one because basically you press softly and it kind of does all the work for you. So we'll start with this one, which is already in very good condition, but we'll have a look and just see. This is also a bit of a work in progress. I only got 10 coins, which I got 9 of. But if we had got a bigger batch, what I could have done is been more discerning, bought 50 coins and then shown you the best 5 or 6, and we could have worked on those. So I think that's something we'll do in the future. But we'll see through the next course of the few videos if we can get this into some sort of good, presentable condition, and if we can, and hopefully you'll see a decent before and after. You can definitely never have too much kitchen roll with this stuff. Now you can see some good detail there, and I don't think we could get that up to much of a better standard. Not great detail there, but some. I'm thinking number 7 is going to be more of a resin on that side and maybe work on something else. I will do some research on that and see if number 8 and some of the others that have that heavy build up, what that is, because that was making a scraping sound, but it's very light, so that's not patina. This one feels very much like a disc. It just feels like the inside of the coin. It doesn't look like there's any detail there at all. I think that'll be one to leave for now. Same with this one, it feels so thin and so light. I don't think there's really any detail under there. Basically just metal discs. This one would be worth doing with a toothbrush. I'm thinking so far, in terms of actual ones that might turn out to be keepers, number 7, number 5, which I'm holding, and I'm thinking that's pretty much it. The good thing is, as we do more of these, and the technique gets a bit more perfected, and we get maybe some better equipment, you know, more varied picks, maybe things that are a bit less harsh. And then we can really work through and get some better detail and get some more coins. And then it'd be nice to be able to work on the 10 that look the best and leave the rest of them. Now, there's quite good detail on one side and almost none on the other. Yeah. Another one to maybe use a resin on. I don't think there's anything massive to be gained from that. So this is a bit more of a work in progress. What I'll do is I'll definitely be buying some more coins, buy a bigger batch, and then have something to really go through with you. I mean, this one here, I don't know if you can see that raised there. That's not mud or anything. Oh, maybe it is. Okay. Because you've got the patina here on that level, it looked like it had been scratched, and that was actually coin surface, but it looks like that could be mud. So we'll work on this one. So we're on number 2. What I'd like to do is have enough coins and enough of a batch so that I could show you really one coin and show you one coin to completion and have it turn up really in quite a bad state and work on it until it is actually kind of museum grade. You know, to get something that is that fine would be quite nice. Not a lot showing up on the toothbrush here. It's still looking quite new. Okay. I think what I'll do as well, I'll show you what it looks like to use a Renaissance wax on one of the coins. The best one that we have, but I'm not sure about curing times and things like that and how long that will take. That's very uneven. I don't know if you can see how uneven that is. I don't know if that's build-up or if that is just corrosion. There is some detail that side. Gloves are definitely working. That's why it's always good to wear these. So for anyone doing this at home or looking to do this, I'm pressing quite lightly. I really need to get something to hold the coin, but pressing quite lightly. If you can hear scraping, the kind of thing that would be on a chalkboard, you're pressing too hard. Nice and light, small regular turns. And you can see that coming up. Now that's just debris. Now I don't think we're going to make as good a progress as I thought we would. And I think I need to buy some more coins, because if anyone has any comments, any input would be welcomed. But I think a lot of these coins are a little bit beyond saving. And I don't think it's... I think there's lack of detail and they're corroded rather than they need cleaning. They're not covered up by dirt, they're just not in very good condition. If anyone does have any input, let me know, but I just don't think that's going to become anything. I don't think there's anything hidden under there. So we'll put number 2 back. Okay, so a bit of a bust really with this batch. Nothing bad about the seller, I just think sometimes you get ones that are not great. You know, there are a lot of coins out there and sometimes they just don't want to come up well. You can hear almost straight away that that was squeaking. That's another one, number 3. I'm thinking the best one so far in terms of detail is number 8, but it is covered up and I think I'm going to need to get a special pen for that. Number 5, but only on the one side, and there is still some build-up on there. It's very slight. It's very slight, tiny amounts coming off. I think I almost need something smaller, maybe the pen for that as well. And then number 7, it's a shame that it's been chipped, but that's quite good on that side. Terrible on that side, but good on there. I'm not sure how much mud there actually is to get off there. So, bit of a mixed bag. And definitely come and check out the next few videos, because the next thing I'm going to be doing right after this video is going ahead and finding a good supplier with some good feedback to supply 50 or 100 coins and basically start this process over. Show you the coins when I open them and take the debris off, show you what they look like, put them in order really. So the ones that are just discs that are going to have no detail, ones that have some detail and you can see through the dirt already, and then other ones that are really looking quite fine and could really become something. I'm going to buy those now, and then I think that video will be coming out in a week, 2 weeks time. So check that out, because that could be something useful. And then I'll also buy some more equipment and we can work through that together. And hopefully this was useful, and tune in for the next video where we can look at things a bit more in depth and a bit more of a bigger batch.